Hello everybody, it's Chibi, and today I'm going to be doing a full series review on Fate Kaleid, a spin-off series by Type Moon, and at the same time they're the famous creators of Fate Zero and Fate Stay Night. Now, I want to just go off and say right now, if you're wondering, do you have to watch Fate Zero or Fate Stay Night to watch Fate Kaleid? No, you do not. Fate Kaleid is a spin-off series that has no connection to the main storyline. Fate Kaleid is pretty much a magical girl anime. So if you don't like magical girls, most likely you're already going to hate this series. Now, if you're walking into this anime series expecting something on the level of epicness like Fate Zero, then you're going to be sadly mistaken and disappointed. This is not going to have those battle action scenes like Fate Zero where you just see fucking Saber and Berserker duking it out, or Saber and Lancer. You're not going to see stuff like that. But you do see some good fighting and action scenes in this series, and it definitely is a series I would recommend to major fans of Type Moon and the Fate series in general. Now, the main characters of this series is Illya from Fate Stay Night. That was actually one of the main antagonists of Fate Stay Night in 2006's actual series adaptation. And we also have another main female character called Miyu. Now, it's really interesting getting to see the aspect of Illya as the main female character of a series for once, because, I mean, she's always been shown in anime adaptations to be rather evil or just doesn't have a major role. For instance, in Fate Zero, she was the daughter of the main male character, Kuritsugu, and it was interesting getting to see her as a main central role in this, and so I like that aspect a lot. Now, one thing I noticed right off the bat with this spin-off series of the Fate series, it has a lot of correlations, connections to the original Fate Stay Night. For instance, not just the characters are in Fate Kaleid, but at the same time there's a lot of different references to the first meetings of different characters. For instance, we get to see a reference of Archer in episode 6. We see like a pose that Archer does when he's fighting Berserker, and we see Illya don his actual pose and have his uniform on and stare off into the distance. And that's something I really enjoy about Fate Kaleid. One thing I will say, if you have watched the other series and you remember really well about those key scenes about the Fate series, most likely you will fangasm over different scenes in the Fate Kaleid series, because there's so many different references that I love. Like the first episode, Ren and Illya looking at each other, like a way it backed off of the animation, you see them looking at each other at an angle. It was a reference to the first episode of Fate Stay Night with Shiro and Saber, which I enjoyed that aspect a lot, the way they referenced that, which was fucking badass, because I did not expect to see a reference like that, and that's what really hooked me to the series when I saw a reference like that. Now, overall, if you're looking for this series for action, there is action in Fate Kaleid, and if you're looking for it, you will probably be excited about it. But the best episodes of the course of this entire series, as I have seen, was episode 6, 9, and 10. Best episodes of the series, and definitely majority of the entire budget of animation went into those episodes, especially for those CGI moments that just made me want to just drool all over my computer keyboard just because of how badass it was. Now, I did a live reaction on episode 6 of Fate Kaleid on a fight between, like, Archer Illya and Saber. Oh my god. Oh my god. So yeah, if you want to look at that, most likely we'll have that in the description of the video if you want to check that out. But anyways, okay? Yeah, the animation of this series, wow. It was on that Fate Zero level, definitely. On majority of the times, it really had a lot of relationship to the Fate Zero's animation, which was absolutely fucking stunning, because it wasn't the same studio that did Fate Zero. It was a completely different studio that handled Fate Kaleid, and they did a good job at it. So far from what I've seen, they did a very good job of handling animation. They know how to place out their budget. For instance, the CGI, oh my god. Berserker CGI looked amazing. Let's not even get into the part of Illya going into Archer mode with that flame aurora around Excalibur. That was just breathtaking. Seriously, the animation in this series is enough alone to watch. It really is. The animation's really good and it holds up for, you know, already being a year old. It really does. It looks better than some of the things we have seen from already these two anime seasons. Now, the characters Miyu and Illya, pretty cool getting to see their characters develop in the course of this 10-episode series. And as I can say, if you hate magical girls, you'll probably not stand these characters, because pretty much you just get to see how these little girls have to deal with, you know, problems, of issues, of how they have to accept each other as friends, and deal with the issue of most likely they're going to die if they continue doing what they are doing as magical girls. Now, the main overall plot of this series, if you do not know yet, is where the magical girls, or these wizards, are having to hunt down these cards. Each individual card represents a different heroic spirit, like Saber, Archer, Lancer, Berserker, Caster, Assassin, different stuff like that. And so you have these magical girls, Miyu and Illya, have to hunt down these cards, take down those specific heroic spirits, like Hercules, for instance, or Castor, or you have to see them take down Saber, which is really cool because the way they have to do this is really different from the other Fate series, because all the different heroic spirits you've seen through the course of Fate Stay Night and some from Fate Zero are in this, and you get to see them all as enemies. They don't have much personality or any personality at all. Pretty much imagine all the heroic spirits as Berserker. That's exactly how you should imagine all the heroic spirits, and they are the main enemies of this series. Now, at the end of this series, episode 10, you see all the cards are finally captured, and pretty much they've all come together, and Illya and Miyu have finished their goal. Like, there's no goal left. And so it leads me to believe, like, what is next for this series? Because the way it ended, it's like, how can you make a season 2 on something that was already finished? Like, for instance, the only thing I could see at the moment, the where they can go with this series, is like, okay, who made those cards? Like, who started this heroic spirit cards type thing in the first place? That's the big thing we need to find out. But there was one thing that really foreshadowed the next enemy. At the end of episode 10, after the credit scene, you will see this dude with red hair, and it was really interesting because I don't actually remember someone like that from these series. I probably have forgotten because it's been a long time since I've actually watched Fate Stay Night. But still, it's that character looks rather new, and most likely is going to be the main antagonist of the next series, Season 2, that will air in under like 10 hours from now. So I'm looking forward to seeing the first episode of Season 2. Oh yes, also, I noticed Waver in this last episode, episode 10 of Fate Kaleid. If you did not recognize the person that was on the phone with Rin, that was Waver. And if you don't know who Waver is, he was the person that was actually the master to writer of Fate Zero. Yeah. That is fucking badass. It really was fucking badass. I was glad to get to see Waver actually in Fate Kaleid. And I'm very intrigued to find out what Kiritsugu is doing at the moment. Because, I mean, he was completely absent this entire series. And we know he's alive and doing something. So I wonder exactly what he is doing in this timeline. Because we know what he was doing in Fate Zero. And we know he died, technically, at the end. Spoilers if you have yet to watch it. But still, what I'm saying is, he's alive. This is technically the Fate Stay Night timeline in the representing of the years, and so I wonder exactly what he's doing in this specific timeline. So anyways, I guess there's not much more I could talk about because I don't want to go into too much spoiler territory and ruin everything if you've yet to watch this. But it's a good series. If you're looking for something that holds up to Fate Zero, though, you're definitely going to be disappointed. But if you're interested in a magical girl anime that has some gore and darkness to it and at the same time represents Type Moon's work of the Fate series, you'll definitely love this. So anyways, everybody, tell me your thoughts on the series if you've already watched it. And also, are you hyped up for that Season 2 that will be airing in under 10 hours, probably a couple hours after that, because it'll take some time to get subbed. But anyways, everybody, I love you all so much, and see you on Season 2 of Fate Kaleid. Chibi out.